Well, hello, my name's Andy Tidy and welcome to a slightly unusual edition of Canal Hunter. I spent the week rather busy on a different project, so there's not going to be a canal hunt of an abandoned line of waterway. So I'm putting my exploration of the tugboat canals around Telford on hold for a little bit, and I thought I'd tell you a little bit about the project I've been working on this week. Over these last few months, the subscriber numbers and the viewing numbers of this YouTube channel have grown absolutely enormously. The subscriber list has grown from just a couple of hundred to way over 1,000, and I'm delighted that so many of you are clearly enjoying my explorations around the abandoned waterways of the UK, and in particular my hunt for the abandoned waterways surrounding the Birmingham Canal Navigations. And it's not just the subscribers, they just make up a small proportion of the total numbers of viewings. So, welcome on board if you're quite new to Canal Hunter here on this YouTube channel. As the bulk of my videos have been all about the forgotten corners of the Birmingham Canal Navigations, I thought you might be interested to know a little bit about the BCN Challenge. The BCN Challenge is a slightly wacky affair that's been running for years now. The BCN Challenge is a 24-hour endurance boat race. You can start anywhere you like on the 100-mile network of the BCN. So, one weekend in May, about 50 crews will assemble with their boats at their desired starting point. I'll then spend 24 hours of the next 30 hours charging around these forgotten backwaters, this sort of watery industrial labyrinth, accumulating points as they go. Now, if you think that sounds absolutely bonkers, well, in a way it is. I mean, who would possibly conceive of a boat race where a good average top speed is 2.5 miles an hour? I tell you, it's not exactly a spectator sport. I've taken part in it a few times. And I remember on one occasion, I was about 4 hours into the race when another competitor rang me up. And he rang and said, "Andy, I'm a little bit worried." He said, "Have you seen any other boats?" And I said, "Well, yes, I have." He said, "Well, I'm getting a bit worried. I've been going for 4 hours and I haven't seen another boat yet." I was starting to wonder if we'd got the weekend wrong. So, as I say, not exactly a spectator sport. And the scoring system used in this endurance race has been described as Byzantine in its complexity. You get bonus points awarded for covering miles on difficult canals. You get bonus points for being extra long boats. You get bonus points for being a working pair. You get penalty points for having a large crew. You get points for working locks, points for finding the challenge clues as you go along. Look, the whole thing was so complicated that for many years you handed in your results sheet and it took 2 weeks for them to work out who the winner was. And I would like to say that by the time the 2 weeks was over, no one really cared about who'd actually won. But that actually wasn't true. For some participants, taking part is what it's all about. But for many, the pursuit of the trophy is taken very, very seriously. Enormous amounts of time are spent plotting over the maps to try to find the optimum route to extract the maximum numbers of points. And then there's an equal amount of time spent in good-humoured banter at the end, disputing the end results. And as with so many competitions, the final position on or off the podium is much more influenced in the planning phase than it is in the deployment. Well, that brings me on to the 2020 BCN Challenge. As most of you will know, all movement of boats has been brought to a standstill as a result of the coronavirus outbreak. That means that the 2020 BCN Challenge is well and truly off. But if winning and losing is largely decided at the planning phase, it wasn't very long before a group of die-hard BCN Challenge enthusiasts started to wonder if it might not be possible to run a virtual BCN challenge instead. Well, this process gained a bit of momentum, and it wasn't very long before I found myself embroiled in this plotting process. And then finally the penny dropped. If we were going to try and run a virtual challenge based on the BCN, why don't we add a virtual time machine to each gearbox? And if we added the time machine to the virtual gearbox of each virtual boat, this modification could potentially extend the cruising area from the 100 miles that we've actually got to the full 160 miles that used to exist when the network was operating at full capacity. Suddenly, dozens of new potential cruising routes opened up, which would allow participants to explore areas of the BCN that no boat has passed on for over 60 years. And that's where you come in. The very fact that you are interested in the ongoing exploration of the lost canals of the BCN means that following this particular challenge is likely to tick all of your locked down boxes. So instead of cruising new canals, this year's event uniquely offers the opportunity to dive deeper into the fascinating history of this unique network of old canals. It will allow you to both be entertained and to emerge a little bit wiser. Now, no one wants to spend 24 hours sat at a computer, so it's being formatted rather differently. Starting on Monday, the BCN Challenge, the Virtual BCN Challenge 2020, will be kicking off. And it's expected that participants will spend about 2 hours a day working through the challenge themselves. Each day they will spend their 7 hours of cruising time working through the labyrinth of canals, and particularly focusing on the lost canals where the maximum points are available. And they will complete their cruises, they'll complete challenges, they will complete quizzes as they go along the way, and they will write up a record of their travels and post photographs of where they've virtually been in virtual logbooks. And one of the lovely things about this particular challenge is that you don't have to own a boat to enter. You don't even have to be here in the UK. You can do it from any country, in any time zone. So, if you're watching this in Kazakhstan or in Kansas, you can still take part. In some ways, think about the BCN map as a giant board game with fixed cruising hours to be played out each day. And each route you take scores a different amount. As with any board game, there are wildcards. Some wildcards will come in and then help you. Others will hinder. Each day you may need to rework your route planning. Now, if you would like to take part, there is still time. The last time for entering a crew, and it could be a crew of one, is midday UK time on Saturday the 3rd of May. Now, you do need to know that the virtual 2020 BCN Challenge is being hosted within the Canal World discussion forum. So if you'd like to take part, you need to start by doing a Google search for the Canal World discussion forum, CWDF. If you find the forum, you can register your team and you can pick up a copy of the rules. Now, if like me, you are a little bit coy about getting involved in any kind of online forum, fear not. I would say it's an ideal place to lurk incognito. And if I'm being absolutely honest, I am probably 9/10 a lurker. I'm happy to watch the threads emerge, and I just participate in the ones that I find particularly interesting. And they're normally the ones that relate to history. But there is an immense amount to be learnt by following the forums in any case. But the forum will hold the boat logs of where you travel. That's what I've been up to this week. I've been working with the organising team to create a workable virtual BCN challenge complete with virtual winners, virtual prizes and of course a virtual wooden spoon. So if you fancy taking part, then sign up and do so soon. But if you fancy just keeping an eye on these crews, working their virtual boats through the various time zones and exploring the backwater canals that no one's really thought about for decades and decades, why not just sign up for the forum and lurk away to your heart's content? So that's my short video for this week. From now on, I'll get back to doing some serious work of tracking down those pesky lost tugboat canals in the area around Telford. But happy hunting, and for those of you who want to take part, happy cruising. Well, virtually anyhow. Cheerio.